All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys for joining. If anyone is joining us in today, as we are coming back with another Realtor Tip Tuesday. As you can see, I don't have my partner here, my partner in crime, Roland Hennigan. He is at an appointment, so I'm going to hold down the fort for us by myself. But I am going to bring in our guest for today. We have Douglas Hayes with HTX Inspection. So he's going to come in and talk to us, give us some tips on inspection and just introduce himself. So give me just a moment. I'm going to bring him in so you guys can get a chance to meet him. And if you have any questions, you guys can type it in into the comment section and we will go through your questions. And if we don't go through them on live, we will definitely come back throughout the whole program and in the days to come and answer whatever questions you guys have. So with that being said, let me bring in Mr. Douglas. How you doing, Mr. Douglas?
I'm doing great, Dana. How about yourself?
I am doing good. I cannot complain. I'm like the old people. I can't complain.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's gonna listen anyway, so you know how that goes.
you know, it
So,
does not it does
yeah.
not pay to complain at all. So
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
well, thank you for taking out time out your busy schedule to join us
Hmm.
and or join me today. I'm so used to saying us. I'm used to Roland being here with me, but to
Yeah,
join me and just having a conversation about home inspection. Just one of the aspects of purchasing a home.
yeah.
But before we dive into it, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us about HTX, and whatever background information you can share with us right now.
Okay, so HTX. Well, first of all, my name is Douglas Hayes. I'm the owner, lead inspector of HTX Home Inspections. We're a multi-inspector inspection firm. We have three inspectors, including myself. So there's two other guys that are professionally licensed inspectors. I also have my quote unquote office manager, my wife. She helps, in the background, taking care of all the business side of things and phone calls, booking appointments, stuff like that. So if you call, you may wind up catching her instead of me most of the time. Right now we're going on year two, which this upcoming December, will be 2 years for us. We've grown by leaps and bounds, and just it's been truly a blessing to be able to grow as fast as we've grown. We offer pretty much, the full residential home inspection, which includes your structural systems, foundations, electrical, plumbing, everything that comes with the home inspection. We also offer some, ancillary services like pool inspections. We do termite, but it's through a third party. Um, so yeah, we're kind of new, but we've been around a while, and we're doing great things. And our objective in this whole home inspection thing is to educate, not alarm, our clients, and that's kind of I think people tend to gravitate more to that because they feel like, okay, I'm not just living in this house; I'm learning something about the house too. So that's our goal, is to try to educate and alarm our clients.
Okay. First of all, I thought you were in business way longer than 2 years because, just the wealth of knowledge that you guys
Yeah,
come to the table with
yeah,
is, it's amazing, which
I
is one of the
appreciate
things
it.
that led me to you all.
Yeah.
I remember looking for some inspectors to kind of partner
Hmm.
with, and I found your page, and that was one of the things that I found very interesting is the educational part of it too.
Yes, yes,
um, because me being my background is in education, and so I take that aspect into as to real estate, that I want to
yeah,
educate my clients about the investment they're getting ready to make. I don't want you to go into the process of purchasing a home blindsided. So I know
yeah,
I'm very particular about the people who we partner and who we put in the hands of, or who we put our clients in the hands of. And I can
exactly.
definitely say, as someone who has referred you to clients, that they always feel very well taken care of, and they always
Yeah,
feel. And one of the things I always tell people when I refer you is,
uh-huh.
look, He is very meticulous, when it comes to the inspection report. So don't get afraid
Yeah, yeah,
when you get this long inspection report, but
yeah,
it's to educate you. And I like that about,
yeah,
about you guys, because I don't want the client to go in and be misinformed, because I have seen some inspection reports from other
yeah,
inspectors that are like 5 or 14 pages long, and it's
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
on there. And it's like, but I'm looking at some stuff and I know I'm not an inspector. And I'm like, I don't see that in this
Yeah,
inspection report. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I
So
mean
thank
that's
you.
yeah, that's funny you say that because our thing is let me get you all the information you need. Some things are going to be serious, some things are not so serious. And you focus on those things that like I like, and I'm pretty sure you're the same way. The big ticket items.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody to walk in a home and have to replace the HVAC system or a water heater or you know
The roof, the
replace a
foundation,
roof
electrical.
or a foundation. Yeah, it's like those things are expensive.
Yeah.
So we have to go into that home thinking like, okay, let me make sure I share all this information. Some of it, people can think they like that doesn't really matter. But it's like, yes, it does. So just focus on the big ticket items though, and that way you don't feel overwhelmed when you get
Yes.
the report. And that's kind of how we go about doing it.
Yes. So, one of the main things that, and we talked about what one of the things I want to talk about was like
Mhm.
new construction, because
Yes.
some people have this mindset that I don't need to get an inspection report because it's a new construction. And so, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to be walking into those big ticket items, the roof, the
Exactly.
foundation, electrical, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I know, I've called you on a new build before to do an
Yeah.
inspection. And so, let's talk about that. Like, what do
Okay.
you suggest? I'm sure you suggested, but why do
Oh,
you
yeah.
suggest it to do
Yeah.
a new construction inspection? Even though it's new construction.
Well, I mean, the thing about new construction, what people first have to take in consideration, these builders, they're building tons of homes all at the same time. The people that are building these homes are human beings. They have time crunches that they got to get in, get out, and move on to the next house. As the inspector, we go into the house. Well, we can take our time. We can sit up, we can go in, and we're there 2 to 3 hours, and we're going through every mechanical device, every structural part of the home to inspect it. What I've noticed in new construction, as far as recommendations go, and for those that don't know what recommendations are, that's basically deficiencies, the things that we find that may not be either installed right or working right. So we call those recommendations. Well, in a new construction home, I've seen where I've come out of that house with 40 recommendations. And it could be anywhere from an exhaust vent on a furnace not connected. So now
Mm,
you have, carbon monoxide gases coming into your home
wow.
through the air systems. I've seen water heaters not functioning like they're supposed to, AC not cooling like it's supposed to. I've seen AC vents actually ducted, supplying air in an attic instead
Oh,
of going into the bedroom. So,
wow.
with new construction homes, I mean, they're going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, So I always tell people just, even though it's new, take the time, spend a few dollars to go and get that new construction home inspected. That way you get another set of eyes who's not trying to, who isn't in this time crunch, that can
Right.
go through that house with a fine tooth comb and find all the things that are going on at that particular moment. So that's really the biggest thing with the new construction. The other thing I noticed too with it, and I think there's some confusion out there, especially with first time home buyers.
Mhm.
A builder will tell the first time home buyer, oh, we have our guys inspecting it. And their inspectors are not doing what we're doing. They're going to go in and they're probably going to check two or three things. They may check one outlet, they may run the air conditioner, run the furnace, and look around the roof, something like that, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Whereas when we go in, we have to check every outlet. We have to open every window. We have to open and close every door. We have to shoot every supply bin. So our inspections are more in depth. than what the builders inspectors are. So just be aware of that when you're building a new construction home, because I have had a lot of clients come to me and they're like, well, they told us that they were inspecting the property. And I'm like, they don't do what we do,
Yeah.
so it's different.
Their inspection is a little bit different. They're inspecting
Yes.
it for sometimes, like I know that there's a builder that does I think it's like a 14-point stage in their building process.
Yep.
And so which
Yep.
makes sense and it's a good selling point. But to your point, if I am one person and I'm having to do this 14-point inspection and I'm going to 10 houses in one
Yep.
community, and let's say
Yep.
this person
Yep.
is at stage 1, this person's at stage 6, and so
Exactly.
I may have missed something that I should have caught.
Yep.
I may be going through my own personal issues, somebody may have called, kids or
Yeah.
whatever. And so
Yeah.
it's like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I forgot. So, it's also too, it's not with the malicious intent, but like
No,
you
it's not.
said,
It's not.
they're human, so
Yeah.
why not get somebody who is going to come in and give in-depth, an in-depth inspection and make
Exactly.
sure that if that person's going to give you a 12-month warranty, it's going to last 12 months. And like you said,
Yeah.
if the air conditioner is not working in my $300,000 plus home that I just
Yeah.
purchased,
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's and
That's not.
especially if I purchased it in the summer months, but in Houston, it doesn't even
Yeah.
matter because it could be hot in the wintertime. Uh,
Exactly. Exactly.
I want to
So
make sure that it works. But then that's a
yeah.
fire
Yeah.
hazard too. If it's blowing in the attic, if it's something that's not connected, now all of a
Yeah.
sudden, now I'm facing a fire hazard. So now we're talking about
Yeah.
safety above money.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. I mean, it's some of the things I've run across. I mean, it's just mind-boggling for new construction. But at the same time, it's new construction. So you think, okay, you get the key there is to get it inspected, identify these issues, the builder fixes these issues. And so when you actually finish going through the home buying process, you done signed for your home, you walk in your home, you can feel comfortable knowing that, okay, I know my AC is going to work when I get in this house. I
Right.
know my heat is going to work when I get in this house. All my outlets are functional. You know when you walk in there that all those things should be taken care of because you got it inspected prior to you moving in. I know there are also people that have the mindset of, well, I don't want to get it inspected now. I'd rather wait till my year warranty is almost up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not against that. I'll tell anybody, hey, that's cool too. But just know when you first move in there, if there's some issues that's there, you're not going to know because
Right.
they're going to tell you, okay, we inspected it, it's good. You move in, and then a month later, you find out one of your kids' bedrooms is not cooling like it's supposed to, or your dishwasher is leaking under the sink after you done ran a load of dishes. It's little things like that that if you skip it in the beginning, it's frustrating afterwards because
Right.
now you got to call that builder, you got to get them to come out. They're going to come out on their time, not yours. So it's a huge inconvenience. So it's best to do it up front, I feel. And if you
Yeah.
want to do it towards the end of your 1 year builder warranty, well, that's good too, because now your home has time to settle. Your equipment has been running over a year's time. So anything that may have taken place during that time frame, we can come back out, inspect that home again from top to bottom, just like we did the first time, and produce a report, give it to you. You can take it to your builder and they can come back out and fix those issues that we find. And in both cases, the first inspection and the 1 year builder warranty, we produce a report. The builder's inspector does not.
Right.
So,
And that's
yeah,
a good point too. And
yeah.
how easy it is too. I just recently had a client that did a new build. They took the advice of
Mhm.
getting a new build inspection done. And there were it was some minor, but some things, it was minor things, but it was
Uh-huh.
minor things that could have ended up being major things in the long run,
Exactly. Yeah,
had they
yeah,
not fixed it.
yes.
And it was real simple. Like you said, a report is given. And then I, as the realtor, I'm going to the construction manager and to the
Mhm.
the builder's agent, and I'm going to give them that report. Like, hey,
Yeah.
these are things that we found, and they're going to go in and they're going to fix it. And so when we come in
Mhm.
for our final walkthrough before closing, we're going to make sure that those things have been addressed. Um,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
also to your point too, like I always highly recommend, and I think one of my clients, they decided not to do the beginning one, but they put you on a hook for their 10th or 11th month. But I'm like, even
Yeah.
if you don't do it at the beginning, like go ahead and do it before that 12-month warranty is up.
Exactly.
Like
Yep.
you said, at
Yep.
least once the house has settled, and some things may have now produced itself. Like, hey,
Mhm.
you probably wouldn't have been able to see me at first, but I'm here now, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
go ahead and address that. So
Yeah.
that is very, very important. It was something I had wrote down, some things I was like, I wanted to kind of get into. We talked
Uh-huh.
about the 11-month inspection.
Yeah.
Have you had, like, I mean, what has been your experience so with the 11-month inspection? Have you had more people saying that they wanted to wait until they do the 11-month inspection versus the first one, or do you suggest to do both?
Well, in a way, I suggest to do both because in the beginning, you're going to get in the beginning of the inspection process on that new construction, you're going to find the bulk of things, right? That's when you're going to really find a lot of stuff, usually in the beginning. The builder comes in, they fix it, well, you live in it a year. So now you're living in it, and now all of this mechanical equipment and all this stuff is functioning now. You're running it daily. And so when you get closer to that year, it's good to do it because now it's like, okay, my warranty is about to be up, and I can find if something has went wrong between the time I got it inspected now and right now, then I can get it inspected again, have them come out, they'll come out, fix all of this stuff, and hopefully I won't have any issues moving forward.
Right.
So I suggest doing them both. I know what we do if a client books a new construction inspection with us. If they come back within the 11 months to do the 1 year build warranty, we always discount it. So usually what we'll do, whatever you paid the first time, we'll knock off $30 the second time. So and that way, you're not spending the same amount of money. And actually, we add the cosmetic stuff to the home
Okay.
inspection because that's usually that in that first year, that's
Yeah.
usually people's biggest issue. They start seeing cracks in the drywall, and they're thinking like, oh Lord, what's going on with my house? And it's like, it's okay,
It's
it's
settling.
supposed to do that. It's just settling, and that's what you're going to see. As long as it's vertical cracks and not horizontal cracks, you should be okay. And so that's what I've noticed a lot of. I mean, as a matter of, it's funny you said that earlier because I inspected a guy's house yesterday and he didn't inspect it when he first built it. He
Mm,
was told to wait till the 1 year is almost up and then have it inspected. And there's nothing wrong with that either. You're just going to find a lot more things, on
right.
top of what you would have found initially. So, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm fine either way, really.
I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit, so but forgive
Okay.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I think we talked about this before. Have you
Uh-huh.
guys gotten into doing the points through the inspection process? Like if somebody wants to do a new construction and before
Uh-huh.
they put up the frame, before they put up the
Oh
insulation,
yeah.
have you guys gotten into doing that?
Yes, we're not. So you're talking about the phase inspections, right? You
Yes.
got yeah, yeah. So the inspection process for those that are listening, it comes in three phases. You got your phase one, which is pre-pour, and that's before the foundation is poured. We're currently not offering that. We're offering the phase two, which is the pre-drywall. So we are doing those now. So
Oh,
yeah, I don't
great.
feel too bad. So we are
I was
doing
gonna make up
phase
for my next question.
yeah, yeah, we're doing the phase two, and then the final phase, which is the full inspection. So yes, we're doing two of the three phases.
Okay, so that's great. So just,
Yeah.
again, just to reiterate for anybody who is listening, if you're getting a house built from ground up, you can call Mr. Douglas with
Hmm.
HTX inspection, and they can come in for the phase 2, phase 3 of
Yes.
your inspection. So once
Yep.
you have your foundation laid, you start to put your frames up, they come in
Yep.
and inspect. Is that the point? Is that phase 2 would be once the framing
Yes,
is up?
yes, that's fake. Once they get the framing up, get the roof on top, and usually the siding in the front sometimes or in the rear is up, but then maybe it may not be on the sides and the back. But as long as the walls are closed in and you know they're about to prepare for drywall and siding, that's usually when I come in. I always tell clients to, know your construction manager. They're going to be the ones that are going to tell you exactly when you can hire that inspector to come out and do that pre-drywall.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And it is very, and some people think, well, I don't need to do that. But I mean, if you think about it for a moment, to get that, that's very powerful to get inspection done before drywall is being put up, because you can make sure that the insulation is being put in. And then sometimes, depending on which builder you're with, if you have upgraded to a certain type of certain type of insulation, did they
Yeah.
actually put it in there? Because
Exactly.
you don't know if they put it in there now
No.
because the drywall is up and all of
Yeah.
that.
You can't
Or if
see it.
they have insulation missing in certain areas, or if it's
Yeah.
covering a certain thing, insulation. From my understanding, I've taken just a couple of inspection classes that, the
Mhm.
insulation is only supposed to cover certain parts inside
Yes.
the wall. Like it can't cover up certain things. And so
Yep.
it could, again, become a fire hazard. So you
Mhm.
want to make sure that everything inside and interior of the walls, interior of your house, exterior of your house is done properly. So
Exactly.
that's good information, and I'm going to definitely notate that and keep
Yeah.
that in mind with people who are doing new builds. And then it's also too, I'm thinking a good thing for people. My husband and I have been getting contacts about people who want to build with just not with a builder like what we know, DR Horton, KB, and all that
Yeah.
stuff, but they just want to build their, I have a builder, I want to build from the ground up, or I'm getting into the
Mhm.
building process. So that would be a great time for those clients. Like, hey, let me hook you up with HTX home inspection so they can go through and make
Exactly.
sure that that contractor is doing what they need to do. And they're
Yeah.
going, kind of have that third eye.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's with the big builders have to build by code.
Hmm.
So the smaller guys, not so much, even though they should be. So
Right.
that's why, as a home inspector, even though we're not code inspectors per se, we utilize code to do our inspections. So when you're building that cut, because that's pretty much a custom home when you're going to go outside of some of the big builders. So when you're building that custom home, it is a great idea to have an inspector who is knowledgeable, who understands building practices and codes to come in and make sure that your contractor is doing what he's supposed to do. It's funny you say that because I mean, again, yesterday the home that I inspected was a custom home. And
Mm.
there were a lot of things that was done in that home that weren't up to code.
Yeah.
So it's good to kind of have that set of eyes come in. Most um, construction managers should have some knowledge of building practices and codes. So if you are going to build that custom home, just check him to see, or check him or her, whoever it is, to see that they have, or have an understanding of what the latest building practices and codes are, because that's critical in the home buying process.
It is. And
Yeah.
then just it made me think about, we had a client that closed about maybe a month or two ago, and she purchased a home that was custom built.
Mhm.
She didn't customize it herself, but the prior owner
Yeah.
built it custom and
Okay.
then sold it to her. And so through the process, just with the lending part of it, it became a big stifler once they went in, they did the inspection, and the inspector
Mhm.
noticed like they didn't have weep holes, they didn't have certain things
Yeah.
that, it wasn't huge. It wasn't a huge fix for them to go in and fix it, but it
Uh-huh.
ended up being, some
Oh
money
yeah.
that
Oh
had to
yeah.
be
Yeah.
invested to almost, as I'm reading this stuff, I'm thinking, wow, are they gonna have to go and deconstruct the house and reconstruct it? And they was like, no, that it could be fixed, but just think
Yeah.
about if they would have done it correctly. And then the issues that they had that were already built into the house, it would have easily, deteriorated the foundation really quickly, just a
Gotcha.
lot of the structural issues, how your
Mhm.
roof and stuff, the sloping of your roof, the way the water's supposed to fall, like all those things are important. It's not just about the aesthetics of it. It's important
Yes.
in the way that house is made to make sure that your house withstands for the amount of time that it's supposed to be, withstandable.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, definitely with the custom home, you should reach out to somebody like Mr. Douglas to come in and
Mhm.
get your home inspected and just have that third eye of somebody, like he said, who's going to take their time. They're not going to
Yes.
rush through the process, and they're going to be very meticulous. And I say meticulous in the most utmost respectable way, because they
Yes.
are very meticulous and very like detail oriented throughout the process to make sure that they see everything, to make sure that your investment is, your money is being invested in a true investment.
Exactly.
So yeah. So then my last question, because I was like, I'm putting you on the spot with that phase in, is that I know
Uh-huh.
that you guys are have expanded. So even though you're HTX home inspection, you guys are going a little bit outside of the Houston area and covering some
Yes.
areas. I know I had a client that was in Bryan
Hmm.
College Station, that you guys came out and did. So tell me,
Yep.
how far out are you guys going, in case we have some people who are wanting to build or just kind of, purchase in areas outside of the Houston area?
I mean, Brian is probably the furthest one of my inspectors have went. So if you can just kind of do like a circle around the city of Houston, right? And say the furthest point up north is like Conroe.
Mm-hmm.
And you just in that circle, we cover all of that ground. So, and I say that because one of my inspectors lived in Cyprus. You know what I mean? We did it intentionally. We needed somebody up in that area. That's how we were able to do the inspection in Bryan, because he lives up that way. My other inspector lives kind of north Houston. So it's like he can cover all that. Those two guys can cover all that north side of Houston, like
Okay.
Spring, Woodlands, Conroe, Bryan, for instance, those little cities in between Bryan and Houston. We try to cover those areas. I'm down south, so I'm towards the League City area. So I can cover all of Galveston, Iowa Colony, Sugarland, Pearland, all that. So we cover a lot of ground. And if you wanted to say the distance, it could easily be 60 miles from each
Okay.
one of our houses, each one of our inspectors' houses, not my house.
Right.
So because we map it from their place of residence, so we can cover a lot of ground. There's really not too many places we don't go nowadays. Um, the furthest we've went, and don't try to send me there again. Don't try to send me there, at least. But then again, it just depends on how everything is. I went to Austin
Okay.
and did a home inspection for a realtor, just real good realtor. Been working with me since I started. He needed an inspection done and didn't trust anybody out there, didn't know anybody. And I went to do it. So it's just building those relationships with people like yourself, and just trying to take care of our clients. And that's what we do.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm probably kind of like that realtor. Once I have made a good connection with somebody, and
Yeah.
I know that they are taking care of my clients, and then my clients, because
Yep.
my client's going to come back and be like, oh my gosh, they
Oh
have
yeah.
really good experiences and stuff. And so I
Yeah.
want to continue that, because I mean, I look at it, it's a package deal. I want to make sure they
Exactly.
have a good experience with, whoever the lender is. I want to make sure they
Hmm.
have a good experience with, if we use a builder, with the builder, with the
Yes.
inspector. Like, I look at everybody like that's my team, and we are
Yes.
all a
Yes.
reflection of one another. So I definitely can say that you guys give exceptional, just above and beyond in regards to customer service. And even though, like, you didn't come out
Appreciate
and
it.
do the Bryan College Station one, my clients
Hmm.
had nothing but great things to say about the inspector who
Yeah.
came out and did who did the inspection. And so
Hmm.
your inspectors are definitely a good mirror of what you produce. When we get to, my clients get to meet you, they still,
Yes.
are still getting good customer service, even though they're not dealing, directly with Douglas Hayes. So,
Exactly.
So I appreciate, the work that you do, the customer service that you and your crew that you guys definitely give. Before
Yeah, I
we
mean,
wrap, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, our main goal, and I mean, we're all like this. If we're spending our money, we want to be treated a certain way. And that's just across the board, whether it's home inspection or whether you're going in the grocery store. And so, what I always tell people, I'm going to treat people the way I want to be treated. And that goes throughout this organization. It goes to my inspectors are the same way. It's like, look, I don't care, and excuse what I'm about to say, but it doesn't matter what they have going on. My
Yeah.
client shouldn't know about it.
Right.
All my clients should know is that you're there, you're taking care of them, you're producing a report that's going to give them everything they need. They shouldn't have a clue that you just got in a wreck on the way to this inspection.
Yeah.
It's just, that's just kind of, I mean, that's how, we think. And so we're going to make sure we continue to provide that level of service throughout this organization. And I always tell people, especially like realtor partners, I'm like, look, if you had experience with one of my inspectors that you felt wasn't, the way we do it, call me, because I want to know. I want to make sure that they're continuing to uphold the level of service that we want to provide.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. And so far so good. I have no complaints
Yeah.
at all, which is why I keep sending your information to my clients.
I
Like
appreciate it.
I don't recommend too many people. Like I have my
Yeah.
small network of people who I
Yeah.
have worked with these people. They are good. I trust them. I know, the type of service that you're going to get, and that's it. I
Yeah.
try not to just deal with a whole, bunch of different people. So yeah. So you are definitely one of my to go to inspectors.
Gotcha.
Please know
I
that.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Um,
Yeah.
no problem. No, thank you. So before we wrap up, I just want to
Okay.
reiterate, to anyone who tuned in or who's going to be listening to this later, we are here with Douglas Hayes, the man, the CEO, the founder, the owner, the worker,
Yeah,
all that and
exactly.
then some
Yeah. Yeah.
of HTX home inspections. And today we talked about, new home construction, and just to kind of hit on a couple of things that, three main things I want to hit on. One, he talked about going in and getting a inspection before you close. But if you don't go and get that 11-month inspection right before that 12-month warranty ends, if you come back and you get at the beginning and you come back, there's a nice little discount there. So give him a call so that you can get both of them. The other thing is that he does phase 2 and phase 3 of inspection. So as soon as that framing is up and they get ready to put that siding and all that stuff, and before they put that insulation, or as they're getting in that process of putting insulation, give them a call. So you don't have to wait until all the walls, the house is completed before you get your new construction inspection. He can take care of you, phase 2 and phase 3. And then last but not least, even though it's HTX home inspections, it's a more emphasis on that TX, because they are going further than just the immediate Houston area, but they are expanding to the north and south of Houston, going as far as, Bryan College Station, going towards, I guess it'll be the Woodlands and
Yes.
Conroe.
Woodlands,
Um,
Conroe. Yep. Yep.
Porter is growing out there, so I'm gonna
Yep.
go
Porter
ahead and
as
say you're
well.
pushing
Oh yeah,
towards that
yeah.
Porter
No,
area.
we've been to Porter multiple times. So yes,
Yeah, they are
yeah.
growing over there.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
trying to push some people towards Porter. So
Gotcha.
the
That'll
prices
work.
are low. This
Hey.
is the time to get in. I would say that. Let
Yeah.
me put that little
Yeah.
plug. This is the time to buy
Yeah.
a house in Porter, because they are trying to expand in that area, so you can get
Gotcha.
way more for bang for your buck. And if you do go out there and buy in Porter,
Hmm.
call Douglas Hayes with HTX
Yeah.
inspection
Yeah.
to take care of you. So any last words for us, Mr. Hayes, before we end today's conversation? How can we get in contact with you?
You can reach us multiple ways. Number one, we have our website at www.htxhomeinspections.com. You can visit the website, and you can book your inspection right there online as well. And you can just kind of read all the different things about the home inspection process. on the website. You can give us a call at 281-816-7007. And that way we can, if you call and you got a question about inspection or something like that, we'll be more than happy to answer that question. You don't necessarily have to call and book an inspection every time you call here. We want to help people understand this home inspection process. So you got that. Then, of course, we're on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. With Instagram is at HTX Home Inspections PLLC. And on Facebook, it's HTX Home Inspections. I think .com or something, if I'm not mistaken. My wife probably knows it better than me because I'm not the social media guy. But we are on all the platforms. So yeah, just you can reach us anyway. I mean, we get a lot of people reaching out on Instagram. So we're available and we respond pretty fast. So you'll never really have to wait too long for a response. But yeah, check us out. If you like what you see, especially on Instagram, the followers, the videos I put out, I tell people follow us on Instagram because you can learn a lot just from Instagram.
Yes, I was just going to say that, and we'll link your information in the post to this video. But definitely, that's what I was going to say. Make sure that you follow him on Facebook and Instagram. But Mr. Douglas is always posting information and videos as he is right there on site at some of the houses. He'll take you through, kind of showing you little tips along the way so that you can see what you should be looking out for. And then also so you can definitely see why you should choose him as your inspector, because he is definitely about educating. He's not just saying it, like he actually, walks the walk, and does what he's saying that he's doing. So thank you so much. Don't leave yet. I'm going to remove you from the screen real quick. I'm gonna close out and then we'll end today's session real quick.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for listening, and I appreciate you, Dana, for having me on and talking to the people about this home inspection process, and I wish everybody the best in their home buying process.
Yes, sir. Okay, hold on just 1 second. Don't leave us. All right. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed today's session of Real Talk Tuesday, where we had a chance to talk to Douglas Hayes of HTX Inspection. Make sure that you come back. I will put his information down below. So if you have any questions, and so that you can follow him on Facebook and Instagram, and also go to his website, htxinspections.com, to just stay in contact with just information. He's always giving great information. Again, I am Dana Hennigan with Hennigan Realty. Roland is not here, but that's okay. I'm holding it down for both of us. If you have any real estate questions, any real estate needs, you are more than welcome to give us a call. You can contact us at 832-890-5400 or at 713-478-7443. Those are our direct numbers. You can always follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at Hennigan Realty Group. And you can always go to our website at HenniganRealtyGroup.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And always remember, we're invested in your investment. Thank you. Have a great day.